Hi all, welcome back to YouTube channel. Let's start rebooting work using UiPath. In today's session, we are going to discuss about tenants and folders. So, what is meant by tenant and what is meant by folder? Before going to the topic, so we are just going to fine tune few things, which is asked by our subscribers that they are facing an issue with the version. So the video which we are doing in a UiPath, so that they are facing an issue. They are working in a different version. So this is causing issue, I guess, for them. So what I have done, so I have created this notepad for tenant login, as well as I have given a Google Drive link, so which has my version package of UiPath Studio. So what you can do, you can just click on this link and you can install your UiPath Studio, which the version which I was working, so that we can go in a same pace. Okay, let's jump to the today's topic. So today's topics we are going to do tenants. So before jump to tenants, so we have to have an account which is a tenant. So initially, in our first video and second video, you have be aware that so we have a tenant already. So if you don't have tenant, don't worry. So I have just given each and every steps over here, like how to create tenant. So you have just go to UiPath cloud platform, this using this hyperlink, and then you have to click on create new. Then you have to add your tenant. So each and every steps which I have covered you until we just move to the connected state of our assistant, so which you may be seen in our first two videos actually. So if not, then yeah, you can go ahead and watch our playlist. So still you are not getting a findings, so then you can still you are facing you don't have any tenant, so which is new. So you can follow the steps which is from the second step to till the end step, so you can follow that, so you can get your tenant assigned and you can start your rebooting works. So at the end, you can see something is called as green, right? So which is your UiPath Studio connected. So from our end, as well as you can see from this snap as well. So if you are following this guide, so it will help you to attain to add your tenant if we don't have them. Okay. So let me quickly jump back to the orchestrator. Okay, so how I just move to the orchestrator. So initially you will be moved to this page, right? So initially you will be in this page, home page. So which is UiPath cloud.uipath.com. So which is given here in the first okay. So this will be a home page. So kindly ignore those warnings. So from here you can open your orchestrator, correct? So right click, open as a new tab. So that will help you to open a new tab. So once the orchestrator is loaded, so your UI will be like this. Okay. So we are going to discuss about what is mean by tenant and what is mean by folder concept. So basically, we the basic understanding, which is the folders have their own orchestrator resource that reside on each and every specific folders, and like global resources which created in the tenant level can be accessible. So what actually it mean? So if you are making some resources, so which is in a tenant level, okay, so which is in tenant level, so creating some machine, so you can reuse into any of the folders. So here the machine is right. So here you used to create a machine, so click on add machine. So based upon the machine template, so what actually we needed, so machine template which is which help you to run in a different machine, to your script to run in a different machine. So standard machine is nothing but to run this particular script only in your machine with respect to your only your machine, so which is a standard machine. So you have to create any type of machine so that you can ask access to any other folders. So let's quickly jump to this. So it's a tenant, right? So tenant is like a global variable, so where you can declare everything and access into the local variable, so you can access those as a local variable. So here you can see, right, so those which is initialized in the which is initialized in tenant level, so those are accessed over here, so you can take those machine as well. So otherwise, so if you want to declare something as a local variable itself and you are going to use only in the local string, so local condition, so you can create directly over here. So what I was meant to here actually, so if you are creating some machines, so machines which is nothing but help you to run your scripts, so the common machines, okay, so those can be accessed in any of these folders, but if you are creating a machine with respect to this particular folder level, okay, so if you are creating some machine in this particular folder, so click on this manage machine, so you're adding a machine, so add machine, so the same option will be there, machine template standard machine, so those cannot be accessed by the tenant. So I hope you got what I was meant to hear, right? So this is the main thing. So you have to understand. So tenant is a global variable, kind of a global variable, where you can put all those things and access in your folder levels. Okay. So but folders. So if you are going to, if you're not going to declare something like a global, so for an example, so we can create a different folder here, so like a different folder, we can take this example. So let's consider Javignes is an employee of some X and Y company, and the shared folders, the person who is working shared folders, he is the person who is working in a BBB company. Okay, so if you are declaring something in tenant, okay, so those AA and BB company details in tenant, so what it will be happening, the shared folder guy can able to see the AA, this company guy details, okay, and then this company BB guy's details can AA can see, okay, likewise a description will happen over here. So like they can easily see others data as well, right? So which when you are doing it like in a global initialization way, so if you are declaring something in the rest like respective folder level, so which will restrict others. So now you'll be having confusion. How you are saying restrict confusion? You are just clicking over here, like then they will be able to see, right? So that is another thing. So in tenant, so what you can do, you can make your security permissions. Okay, so you can give the access to the particular person to the folders. So as I said before, like so, if this Jay Vignesh and then chat folders is let's consider this one as some other guy. Okay, so what I will do, I will just go to the tenant level. Okay, I'll just go to the folder. Okay, so in the folder section, I can restrict the access to the users. Okay, so here in tenant, I can see access like all those person names are like IT folders names. So I can see over here, which is in this tenant. Okay, entire tenant. What I can do, I can restrict the access. Okay, so you can see, you can see something is called as roles, right? So you can restrict only this particular person. So here like automation user considered as this another person, so Jay Vignesh and this folder administrator as a shared folders. Okay, so for this particular two persons have access for these folders. So likewise what you can do, you can restrict the access. Okay, you can restrict the access. So tenant will be like however like tenant will be like if you want to access something, you are going to declare or in a general way. Okay, so you can do here, and you can, if you want to invoke those, so you can invoke, you can create any folders and you can invoke over there. Okay, and one more thing, the main primary role of the tenant, which is restrict the access to the users. So it will help you to restrict the access. So it will allocate the access whomever, like who want to access this particular folder. So for example default, so only like top 1 to 10 persons, like for an example a roll number of 30 numbers, so 1 to 10 can access default folder, and like so and 11 to 20 can access the second folder, and like 21 to 30 can access the third folder. So likewise, so it will help you to restrict the access the particular user. So you will now again you, like one more question will be raising, so how they can restrict access. So now you can see something called as mail id, right? So this will be working in a mail id. So in your like company entire like organization level, okay, so each and everyone has our own business id, right? So what actually they will do, so they will go to this tenant. Okay, they will make a manage access. In the manage access, they will restrict the access to your particular so mail id. So they can get to your mail id, right? So here, so once they click on assign, so they can restrict the access to the particular users. So these are something which is roles and premises. So you don't need to worry about those this stuffs, because this will be like initial setup will be done by the like support team which you are working in an organization. They will be like configure each everything and they will hand out to you, so that you can directly put your things over there. You don't need to worry about like the settings, other things. So what actually, so the organization manager or someone, so will be, hey, this is the particular folder we needed, and hey, like this is the person so are going to access this folder, just permit them to this particular folder. Likewise they will restrict the access. Okay, so here you can see something called as add a new role tenant, so add folder tenant. So this will help you. So add tenant role. So if I was clicking add tenant role, so the person who is add as a tenant role can access the entire orchestrator. So like default folder, JVignesh folder, shared folder. If I was adding as a add folder role, so he might be restricted to some particular folder only. So it may be default, or it may be JVignesh, or it may be shared, which we have to tell. So which folder this particular person is restricted to, which stick to. So likewise, tenant will be acting to help you to restrict the access and like credentials too. So these are the things which is a general things which will be used actually. So the folder, so folder, this particular tenant folder will help you to create the folder. You may not be having any option to create a folder anywhere. So only in tenant you can create a folder, which is new folder. Okay, let's consider IT. Okay, so here you will be having two options, which is tenant package feeds, which means how to get the data from the tenant or not, or like you'll be going to create only like the details. You are going to process the details which is in your respective folder only. You are not going to access the tenant level data. Means you can select this particular option. Based upon this option, you can click on create. Okay, so once you're created, click on create. So you can create a folder over here. Okay, so after you created, so the same UI will be copied to each and every folder levels. See, now we are created it. So in users, you can see something called as one. Why? So this particular JVignesh mail ID will have the entire access for this orchestrator. Okay, so which is like he is a tenant admin, kind of tenant admin, so that he can have access to the entire folders. So whenever you are going to create a folder, this JVignesh only one person will come up over there because he have the tenant level access. He does not have a restricted to folder level access. Okay, so likewise you may be now you may be clear like what is the orchestrator, so like how it works. So orchestrator will help you to create a folders. Okay, so and also it has some separate like create a folders like, and then you can create a robot over there in tenant level, and you can create here and you can invoke those robots in the folder level as well, and then you can manage the access. The main vital thing is you can manage the access to whom have the tenant level access, to whom you have to restrict the folder level access. And in folder, so when you jump back to the folder level UI, so you can see that this is the main difference between the tenant resources and the folder resources. Okay, so if your tenant level UI will be different, right? So you can see here something called as robot, folders, manage access. See, so these are the different kind of UIs will be varied from the folder and the tenant level. So if you come to folder, okay, so the UI will be maybe different. Okay, so let me click over here. Okay, so once you clicked over there, so IT folder, so you can see something called a subfolder you can create. So likewise, so you can create subfolder. So just click on three dots, create a subfolder. So in IT, in particular specific process, so XXX, so it is a process name. Okay. So what it will do, it will create a subfolder for this IT. Okay, where tenant don't have access of these things. So here you can see sub process, jobs. See, like each has a different UI, but this particular folder will restrict to the process level. Okay, so the tenant settings will be done as we discussed already. Tenant settings will be done initially as to the developer, and it will be done with each and every setting. So the support team will be adding a separate folder for you. So where you are going to place your automation scripts as process, hazards, queues, triggers, and all those things you are going to configure on a folder level. Okay, so I hope you'll be clear about what is mean by like tenant and what is mean by folder. So what we can do in the like tenant and the folders. So I hope you got each and every difference and what the roles and what are the premises we can do in this. I hope we have covered pretty much everything. Thanks for watching. Happy learning. Do like, share, and subscribe.